Hey, what's up, everybody? The 44 coming at you with another video. All right. So, I bought some scallops at Trader Joe's, and when they went to ring it up, I almost had a heart attack. Scallops were $17. Now, I didn't know scallops were that expensive, but I should have had a notion that some of the seafood is expensive. I should have had that notion, but I'm used to buying stuff randomly. And I expect that, you ring it up, say 9 something at the most. It says $17. I'm like, oh, hell no. But at that point, it was like, nah, I ain't going to put it back because then I got to go figure it out. There's people behind me. So I'm like, let me just buy it this one time. They said you can broil it. So that means that you can literally cook it with water, which is what I cook everything with any damn way. So that's a plus. They want you to put oil on it, but I can't have any oil. So I'm cool on the oil process. But I'll do my best with it. They say we can season it. I do have some seasoning. So if anything, I'm just sick of what I have at the house. And so I figured, hey, man, if I buy something else, maybe I can find something that works for me. Everything is seasonal, it seems. So even if I find something, it's probably going to be gone in a month or two or whatever, how long. But, it's such a drag trying to find stuff to eat that actually, digest properly. So at this point, it's like, all right, well, that's not going to work. But, hey, friend, what's up? At this point, it's like, all right, well, let me try scallops. I didn't check the price because I didn't think nothing of it. $17 damn. I'm like, yo, what, they pull this out of an ocean of gold? What are we talking about? But that's how it goes. When you buy crab, same thing. When you buy a lobster, you already know. Some stuff is just priced up entirely too high as if it isn't plentiful in the ocean. God made plenty of these. Plenty of them. These people want to price them up to the sky high like there's only a few of them left. That's just not what's going on there. It's one of the biggest scams in food is the prices of lobster and scallops and stuff. It's a scam, bro. You got a whole ocean full of these damn things. Don't tell me they're about to be extinct. And if they are, then we need to not be eating them. So I just think people just have agreed that this is fine. It's not fine. I'm telling you it's not. You're being screwed, world. When it comes to the price of lobsters and scallops, we are being screwed over. And so that's what I want to say about that. Some of us don't have a damn choice but to eat seafood because we can't have chicken. Don't mess with pork. Beef is bad for you even though it digests very well. But it's like, man, I ain't got a lot of choices. So I got to try stuff in the seafood area of life. And when they start pricing stuff up sky high, it starts to become a situation where it's like, yo, there's no reason for this. Not an actual reason. No. So that's what I want to say. Some stuff is just ridiculous. And that is definitely wrong. But anyway, man, yeah. I guess I would react to Elon Musk doing the old Roman salute, also known as the Hail Hitler salute or whatever. After saying hello to everybody in regards to who's celebrating Donald Trump's inauguration. Some people are giving it, they're essentially saying you didn't see what you saw. He's just a person, he has Asperger's, I think they call it, same thing that Kanye got. So he's doing stuff that's on the spectrum and he's just a little off, don't pay him any mind. He was just giving his heart to the crowd. No, that was a Hail Hitler, homie. And we know that sign when we see it. But he's a baby of apartheid, so nobody should be surprised by that. He's literally a white South African wealth man. He made money off of treating people differently for their skin. So that we would expect anything less from somebody like him. This is absurd of us, honestly. But at least they're letting us know who they are, man. At least they're letting us know, hey, we don't care that you know. Just like we were saying in the last video, the truth doesn't necessarily matter. It's just the willingness to stand on the line, how many people will go along with it. It's what actually is what moves the world right now, 2025. The leverage to stand on a lie. It's the essence of how this whole world is being run right now. So when it comes to him hailing Hitler and then turning around telling us, no, it's because I got Asperger's or however you pronounce that. Man, I'm actually giving my heart to the world. I mean, he turned around and did it twice. He did it once and he did it again the other way. Like, that's Nazi shit. Period. And I'm curious of what his Zionist Jewish friends, of whom he pride's being so loyal to, all of these genocidal monsters out here, I wonder what they think of him. Because he's hailing Hitler, and Hitler literally was the guy that you say is the worst person in the world. So it's like, how you know what I mean? How do you feel about that? That's what I want to know. What do my Zionist friends think of that? Is it fine? Because of course you're mimicking Hitler's actions by doing this to the Palestinian people. So I guess you, by natural alignment of behaviors, are too aligned with Hitler. So you shouldn't have a problem with him hailing Hitler, despite pledging his allegiance to Israel. Maybe it's just the Asperger's, right? Whatever, man. I think there's one thing to understand about this world right now: it's godless. If you want to understand anything right now, it's that the world is an evil place in 2025. There's a few good people running around, a few of us who are trying to be good people or what have you. But those in power that be are evil as hell, and nothing that they're doing is hidden at this point. A lot of the people who present us our media are aligned with those individuals, evil as hell, and they really are about standing on a lie rather than presenting the truth. And if you're behind them and you have enough money, they will present their lie to you and I. That's what it is. Control the media, control the narratives. Do what you want, and they'll stand on your lie for you. So that's why it's a joke. The world is a joke right now. I'm telling y'all, it's not a whole lot serious. The world is unserious in 2025, and as they go down in history as one of the most ridiculously absurd and compromised generations the world has ever seen, just know that there were a few of us who tried to stand aside from that, very aware of how ridiculous all of them are. When you go down in history, I want you to look at BDF 44 and say, you know what? He wasn't a part of the Matrix. He wasn't trying to push Matrix type stuff on us. He wasn't standing on his own lies and demanding that the people around him believe him or none of that shit. I wasn't with none of that, man. No, I'm not. I'm in the world, but I am not of the world. If ever there was a person who tries to walk that walk, it's me. I'm here, but I'm not with none of this shit that makes this thing go. It's all kind of absurd to me, and it ain't gonna age any better than genocide and Nazism does. Honestly. So that's what I think of Elon Musk, man. I think Elon Musk has proven himself to show what he really is about. It's just like every other bit of evil in this world, just lines with it, whether it makes any sense to or not. He's just like a lot of other human beings. As intelligent and as wealthy as he is, he just regurgitates ideologies from other people. He ain't creating nothing. He ain't reinventing the wheel. He was taught some shit and he's giving it to everybody else. Just like 99% of human beings. They're taught some shit and they pass it down. So if he was taught the ideology of Nazism and apartheidism, then that's the shit that he's giving everybody. It's not like he's going to say, oh, wait a minute. Even though they gave this to me and everybody around me agreed with this all come throughout my upbringing, maybe this doesn't have anything good attached to it, so I should throw it away. Like, no. It takes an extremely special, unique individual to be able to do that. And most of these people, if I'm being completely honest with you, most of them alive today are not special. They're followers that go along, get along, and their intelligent levels are aligned in a lot of cases with doing what works, rather than reinventing the wheel that doesn't actually spin for us all. That's the truth about 2025. Nobody wants to reinvent the wheel. Everybody just wants to go along with what works. And if they function within those inner workings in a way that allows for them to rise to the top of the measures provided them, then they consider themselves intelligent and successful. They ain't creating nothing new. Nothing, man. All of this is all old, bad energy bullshit created by a bunch of people running around in sandals. Like, it's not new, man. It's not new. It's not innovative. It's not special. It's the same old sorry-ass racism. That's all it is, bro. Ain't deeper than that. Same old sorry-ass, go along, get along, capitalistic. I'm going to get mine, forget you, let the poor be the poor bullshit. That's all it is, bro. It's weak-minded. It's outdated. And it's in need of a generation that's going to throw it away. It's in need. The world is in need of a generation that's going to give the finger to all of this shit that the world works on right now. It's in need of a generation to wake up and say, nah, we're not rolling. I don't like any of this. It doesn't pan out to anything that we are actually proud of. It doesn't work for everybody. It barely works for anybody. Those at the top of it end up going down for the corrupt stuff that they keep going. You know, it's like, it doesn't work. You've been fed poison, you're waiting for it to kill you. That's exactly what it is, y'all. And that it hasn't done anything yet, people assume that it's not going to do that. No, poison kills. You swallow it, you sick. You die. Like, it's poison, man. So, that we're in the phase where people have just swallowed it, but it hasn't quite gotten them sick yet, doesn't necessarily mean it's anything less than poison. It's freaking poison. And so that's what I'm here to tell y'all, man. I think that's where we're at. The world has swallowed something that is poisonous, and we're right before it makes them sick. And wisdom tells you to stay away from things that make you sick, stay away from stoves that burn you, and all these different things. But people are not following wisdom. They're following one another. Well, he says it's cool, so it's cool, right? Yeah. Well, they say it's fine, right? Of course. All right, cool. And when they all go off a cliff like lemmings together, it'll be the few of us who didn't go off that cliff with them, not impressed by the things they did, not going along with the immoral stuff that they were cool with, that to tell the story of how stupid they were going off a cliff with one another. That's how that works. I tell you, America, I'm not going off this cliff with you. I'm not doing it. I'm not agreeing to it because the people around me think it's cool. It's not cool. It hurts. Hitting the ground hurts. You don't want to, just like they say in basketball, you're not going to win a battle with the ground, man. And so too in life. You're not going to win a battle with the ground. So don't jump off a cliff because your friend is deciding that he wants to jump off a cliff and doesn't want to do it alone. This is what the world is made of, is a bunch of people who don't want their friends to go off the cliff alone with. They don't want to be considered not cool by the dude who's about to have his bones broken. Literally. They would rather have their bones broken too than be uncool in the eyes of this idiot. I'm not going along with that. I'm sorry. I think for myself, I don't have those problems. I'm not afflicted with the need to get along at the expense of my own bones. No. All these people idiots together, friend. I don't need to get along with them. I'm trying to teach them something if they'll listen. If not, I'll tell their story. But I ain't gonna fall like to the same doom that they fall into. Look, and we're all on our own path. I'll tell the truth, man. When you start to actually put into belief the teachings of the Bible and the Quran and all of that, the one thing that I've come to understand about people who follow those things is that they're on a certain timing that the world is not necessarily on. They go against certain things the world wants to do because those things are in the book telling them not to do those things. So they're going to follow the book instead of following the world. And the world sometimes don't follow the book. You see what I'm saying? So when it's time for the world to die, they may not be on that timing. They on a whole different clock. So that's what I've come to understand. It's not just about what's taught in the book. It's that when you apply it, certain things allow you to stay offline with those who are connected with one another, headed off a cliff at the same time. That's what I've come to understand. You're following the teachings of a Christ, then it's like, okay, well, you're going to do right even when they tell you that it's okay to do wrong by whomever, however. He telling you treat everybody nice. Society tells you they ain't got a lot of money, you ain't got to treat them all right. So it's like I'm going to part ways with society when it's time for me to follow the alignments of the teaching of the Christ that I follow. Maybe for you it's Muslim, you know. Maybe you have you're of an Islamic religion. So when it's time to follow what your teachings are, you ain't going to deviate away from those teachings to follow the go along, get along world we're in. However that goes for you. I haven't followed what you follow, so I don't know what it's telling you, but the point is you following that. You're not following the world. A lot of the people who are in the world, who make up the inner workings of the world, they're on the timing of the world. When the world expires, they too expire. When society goes off a cliff, they're going to die when society dies too. I just don't want to be on the timing with them. I'd rather be on the timing of Christ. Now, maybe you'll say, I'm a hypocrite because your granddaddy gave you Christ. He gave you the understanding of that. So aren't you just like them in a different way? What if he would have gave you Nazism? Would you not have run with that too? But the thing about it is, when you apply Nazism, it brings about the poison that ultimately ruins your reputation and that of the people that you ultimately align with. When you go with Christ, He's going to teach you how not to do all that. How to treat people nice even if the world tells you not to treat them right. How to be genuine and respect people and respect children. I'm not going to be degraded by the things that Christ is telling me to do. Because He ain't never told us to do nothing but be kind. Literally. So once you apply original thought to the teachings of the Christ, you start finding that what He's telling you make a lot more damn sense. You can apply your logic to it, and it's going to line up. It's going to make sense. It's going to keep you and your people safe. It's going to make the world nicer to be in. That's what happens when you apply independent thought to the teachings of the Christ. It starts to make sense. Like, yeah, this would probably work. Yeah, this does work. Yeah, no, I mean, it really does. And you start, like, that's what comes of it. A lot of the world's ideologies, once you would start applying an original thought to it, you're like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. Nah, that has me moving in ways that doesn't make no sense for what it is I'm trying to do. Nah, that's probably going to get me cut down if I do that around the wrong people. They're going to want me out of here. Nah, that's probably not going to cover my backside as well as I needed to in order to move around the world as I would like to. Like, these are the things that you have happen when you apply original thought to the ideologies of man. That's the difference. You want to apply free thought, original thought to everything. All ideologies require you to think a little bit for yourself to see if it really works. For you, works for your people, works for you, what you're passing forward. And most world's ideologies, the logic ends up falling apart. Somewhere, one way or another, it's going to fall apart. Christ? Nope. It doesn't. It don't fall apart. Not as it pertains to how I'm looking at things. No, it works. It works. And that's the difference. Apply original thought to something given to you. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. A lot of people, they're not going to be able to make sense of what it is they're looking at. They need somebody else to come and reaffirm, yo, does this make sense? That's unfortunate. I don't believe I have that problem, to be honest with you. But a lot of people do, and that's where the world falls short. Because they end up listening to people that ain't got no spiritual intellect about them. Tell them how to maneuver in the world. Well, you do this, and you step on that person, you get that, and then you get this, and you hoard that. You treat them bad so that you look a certain way in the presence of those who are paying attention. It's like a bunch of that is what's going on there. And it's like, yes, this is how it works. Yes, and this is how you rise to the top, and you get rich, and you get wealthy, and you stay wealthy. And then everybody's underneath you, and then you won. And like that's the object of the game, is to win. Like, you get all the wealth, and then you tell everybody what you want done, and you can do it. If you want to feed the poor, you can feed the poor. If you want to kill children, you can kill children. But the wealthy tell the story of the world. We do whatever we want to do. If the Zionist Jews wanted to feed everybody in random place A, they would be able, with the leverage that they have, to provide a meal every day to that country so that everyone has a meal every single day. They have the leverage to do that. If that's what they wanted to have happen based on them having so much power in the world, they can make that happen. They just so happen to want to kill Palestinians. That's the screwed up part about them. If they wanted to spend all of their wealth and all of their leverage building space stations in the sky, they could force all of our scientists all over the world and all of our governments all over the world to pay into space stations in the sky. You would start seeing buildings hovering above you. at some point, based on the leverage they have to force people to do whatever the hell they want to do based on winning the capitalistic game and bringing it for themselves, however that looks. They just so happen to want to kill Palestine. They just so happen to be reading out of an evil Talmud that tells them they can do all types of awful stuff. But it's not about them. It's about the power they've accumulated and the leverage that they have to literally do whatever they want. And they just so happen to want to do awful shit. If your people, let's say you're a Chinese person, if your people accumulate the power and the wealth and the leverage of the Zionist Jew, you could have all of us speaking Chinese overnight. You could have all of us eating rice, whatever you want to do. You could have all of us playing the banjo if you wanted to. Because the go along, get along gang, so to speak, the go along, get along world we're in, will force the people to do whatever it is you tell them to do, so long as you have the leverage to force them to do it. That's what this has taught me. It's not specific to the world being evil. It's specific to the world being adherent to whoever has the power in whatever they want to do. And what you're seeing is your government move amongst them, the world in a way that aligns with who has the power to force them to do whatever, and this is what those whatever are. To do genocide and kill children and tell ridiculous lies that have been debunked and all that. That's what the guys in power want to do. And since we've backed ourselves into this space where money is key and power and leverage is everything, you're going to honor that even if it means people are literally trying to eradicate an entire race of people. Because they have the power, so we do what they tell us to do. We read their script. That's what you're looking at. Because a lot of people are like, oh, the government's so evil. No, the government is just so complicit with whoever has the power to force them to do whatever the hell it is that they want them to do. Is it evil? Of course it's evil. But it's not specific to wanting to do evil things. It will literally do whatever. These congressmen will do whatever, man. Whoever has the leverage to force them to do it, they're going to do whatever, bro. So if a good entity somehow accumulates the wealth and the power of the Zionist Jew, the leverage and all these different things that he has, you can effectively get great things done in the world through the same Congress that's doing all this evil shit. That's the God's honest truth. It doesn't have moral compass. It just has an adherence to power. So if those who are quote unquote good have the power, it's going to adhere to it. It's going to do whatever it says. Hey, I want everybody to wear blue forever. Then we're all wearing blue. It's going to move everything in its power to leverage itself in a space for which it can do what it is you want it to do. We all wearing blue. Like that's what we're looking at here. And like I said, they just so happen to want to kill Palestinians. And this is just what they're doing with the leverage they have and the power that they've amassed. It's corrupt as hell. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing good about any of this. This is where it's failed us. All these things that we've aligned with has failed us because it allows us to adhere to this energy, or any energy for that matter, without some sense of whether or not it ages well, some sense of whether or not this is going to really hurt us someday if we continue to let it pass forward. And the complete just unselfishness to say that, well, if it doesn't hurt us, it doesn't matter. And how we adhere to that in this culture and how that passes forward to other cultures in the future. It's bad for you. All of it is bad for you, man. But we keep on doing it because that's the leverage, and we're not going to betray the leverage because then everything falls apart. Wealth is everything. Contracts are everything. Our ability to sue and lawyer up and lawyer down, or whatever the word would be, is everything. So when you amass this much power, then you control all of those things to the maximum amount. Naturally, just like they're going to respect every contract signed, they're going to respect the power that you hold as the most powerful people, however it goes. It's just a functionality of what we've allowed to be. And should it continue this way, there will be copycats in the future who are going to want to mass amounts of power to do whatever it is evil that comes to mind, or whatever they decide to write in a book today, or whatever the hell is in there that's been there for thousands of years. And so that's what I'm here to tell everybody. We got to start thinking for ourselves, and we got to start doing away with the adherence to leverage, bankrupting all logic, critical thought, for the sake of ownership, power, adherence to status. All of this stuff is bankrupt, and it leads you to doing the bidding of a tyrant because he has certain power, or a cult because they've amassed a certain amount of power. This is what the world has taught us in 2025. We're adherent, if that's the right way of putting it. We are basically at the mercy of the energy of those who want to do whatever, however, so long as they have the power to do it. And now we continue to go along with that. Whatever comes of that is our fault. If it means our undoing of the whole world, the undoing of certain people, or whatever the case may be, it's all our fault because we keep going along with it to the worsening of whatever, however it goes. People say it works. That's why they go along with it. The system works. Leverage works. The money system, capitalism works. But for whom? And at what cost in the end? I can tell you this. If we allow our capitalistic system to literally extinct an entire race of people because of the adherence to the power, then obviously it doesn't work for those people, now does it? So if you say it works, and you want to be accurate in regards to it working, it sure as hell isn't working for the Palestinian people. Capitalism ain't working for them at all. In fact, it's getting them killed by way of the leverage of their enemy, having all that it needs to corrupt everyone it needs to get this done. It's the truth. Video 44. Thank you all for watching.